Deeply ingrained beliefs reside in the corners of our minds, lurking within every attempt to acquire knowledge. These old convictions can ambush our reasoning unexpectedly, leading us to premature conclusions. This phenomenon, known as belief bias, occurs when our established beliefs shape new information. Consequently, the potential for intellectual progress diminishes as the new is molded to fit the old. Recognizing how these ingrained beliefs interfere with our thinking illuminates a common tendency. We often gravitate towards believing what we already want to believe. What is belief bias? Belief bias is a cognitive bias that causes us to judge an argument's validity based on the believability of its conclusion. Our pre-existing beliefs shape how plausible a knowledge claim seems, irrespective of its logical strength. This bias is a reasoning error where our current beliefs interfere with our evaluation of information. Notably, belief bias was one of the first cognitive biases identified in cognitive psychology. This type of reasoning error particularly impairs our ability to engage in syllogistic reasoning, which is the process of drawing logical conclusions from two or more premises. Let's look at an example. Consider these statements: all healthy people exercise, and John exercises. From these, one might conclude John is a healthy person. While this conclusion sounds plausible because we often link physical activity with good health, the argument itself is logically flawed. John's exercise habits don't automatically make him healthy. He could still have underlying health issues. The argument doesn't provide any evidence to support the conclusion. We tend to accept it as true simply because it aligns with our preconceived notions. The initial premise establishes that exercise is a requirement for being healthy, not the other way around. The logical fallacy in this argument is known as affirming the consequent. Belief bias can influence our judgment of things, such as John's health. This same bias also affects how we perceive knowledge about ourselves, the world, and what we hold dear. We are inclined to believe what we find plausible, regardless of the evidence supporting it. In essence, our pre-existing beliefs can limit our openness to knowledge that falls outside our current understanding. What is the significance of belief bias? Belief bias significantly influences both our understanding and our choices. It causes us to accept information that aligns with our existing beliefs, even if that information is flawed. Conversely, it leads us to dismiss valid information that contradicts what we already hold to be true. This distortion of our thinking can be substantial, potentially leading to inaccurate perceptions of the world and ourselves in extreme situations. When we quickly jump to conclusions based on our preconceived notions, we increase the risk of making undesirable decisions. Belief bias is especially clear in political discussions. Arguments for extreme and unjust actions are sometimes presented by appealing to shared values. In these cases, belief bias can cause people to accept an argument even if it lacks logical support and is morally wrong. On a personal level, belief bias can also affect significant life choices. Your beliefs shape all your decisions, so when your understanding is inaccurate, you risk making poor choices about important matters. What causes belief bias? The dual process theory stands out as a prominent explanation for belief bias. This theory posits two distinct types of mental processes, implicit and explicit, also referred to as System 1 and System 2. The implicit system, one process operates automatically. Psychologist John Bargh describes this automaticity as encompassing non-intentionality, unconsciousness, uncontrollability, and efficiency, meaning it requires minimal cognitive resources. Our implicit body of knowledge, including established beliefs, resides within System 1. System 2, the explicit process, refers to our conscious and deliberate ability for sequential, rational thought. This rule-based analytic system drives our recently evolved logical thinking, requiring more cognitive resources than System 1. It is consequently slower. According to cognitive psychologist Jonathan Evans, dual process theories essentially posit two minds in one brain with a range of experimental psychological evidence showing that the two systems compete for control of our inferences and actions. Belief bias arises when System 1 overrides System 2 during this competition, resulting in a reasoning error. Such errors are more common under time pressure because our implicit reasoning is faster and more efficient than our conscious, deliberate thought. So, the next time you need to make an important judgment or decision, take your time.